Air of Paris, 50 cubic centimeters, in a specially made glass phial. Cage with cuttlebone and thermometer containing lumps of sugar, which turn out to be cubes of marble, by Rose C'est la Vie. Hat rack, chosen in 1917. Duchamp calls these objects Readymades. Were they a comment on the ridiculous price paid for a painter's signature? Were they drawing attention to objects which were just as much works of art as accepted works of art? Or were they a joke? The essential thing is that they were chosen by the artist.
Readymade is, see, first, in the first place, when I first started, I didn't have the word at my disposal. I had not invented the word yet, or at least taken in. For example, in that bicycle wheel, see here, it was 1913, it was in Paris. I didn't, the word didn't exist. The thought did not exist in my mind of something like that. It just happened to be some kind of a bicycle wheel in my studio just for fun, the way you have a fire in the fireplace as a sort of distraction, a movement again, probably. It was probably the first expression of movement. It was just after the nude, and it went with the idea of movement, you know. Well then, after that in 14, I had a thing called the bottle rack. It was a dryer for bottles, you know, made of iron, manufactured. And I just chose it, and that's what the definition of a ready-made is. The choice of the artist is enough to transfer it from a functional or industrial form into supposed to be aesthetic, but very different from aesthetic in general. The independence incident, when I sent that urinal to be shown, is one incident. The jury, there was no jury, but the people who were organizing it decided it couldn't be shown, that urinal. So instead of, they didn't know it was I was concerned with it because I didn't sign my name, as you know, with the name instead. So they just took the thing and threw it away above the partition. So it was between partitions and you couldn't see it. It was hidden. In fact, we didn't know where it was for the whole length of the show. It only at the end that we found it behind the partition and we recuperated it.
And what about the Gioconda?
Gioconda was another thing that I made here in Paris in 1919 before going back to America. And, well, it was one of these gestures because I added an inscription, which was another ready-made, but its own kind. But I have called ready-made aided or assisted, which means that I added something to it, which in the case of the Gioconda, I added a little moustache and a goatee. And also wrote underneath something very risky.
May I ask a question which you've been asked 1,000 times? After having made such an important contribution to the art of our time, you retired from the world of art to...
Yes. Well, it's not... The first place, I couldn't tell you why. Because I never made it, I never had any why. It came into my life as I didn't have any ideas to express. I never considered myself like a professional painter. You know, a professional painter is a man who paints every morning, and he paints either quickly or slowly, but he paints all the time. And painting always bored me, imagine. So I had a hard time finishing a painting, what you call finishing, at least ending, and it took me some months, even the nude took me at least 2 months to paint it, you see. And that time already people did paint in no time, in 5 minutes, 10 minutes for paintings. That was already the fashion. And I'm opposed to that, and even now I'm opposed to the idea of painting fast. Or I think I don't believe in the magic of the hand. You know, the less you think about it, the better it is. Not at all. I don't think so. But that's all right. It's a little private theory of mine. But well, that's why did I stop? I don't know. I don't know even if I did stop, meaning that I'm ready to do it tomorrow again if I feel like it. And there's no vow, anything of the kind, and no intention.
Very good. It's very interesting to hear. I hear of art teachers who feel that their role is to teach taste.
Exactly.
And would you say that they might be better employed in teaching people to challenge taste?
Yes, they should. They should at least, if not challenge, at least completely be indifferent to it, or make the difference, which is difficult to detect. What is taste and what is aesthetic, again, because after all, in our period, in a cycle of 50 years, there'll be some of the paintings or some of the art which would be remembered and kept in the museums, evidently, we hope so. So what is going to be aesthetics of our time or taste of our time? We cannot decide. We are in it, so we are not supposed to decide even. But I mean, I'm giving you the problem for posterity, which we won't be there to look for the result.